Welcome back to Manufactio. Today I'd like to start just by talking a little bit about this stuff, about pollution. You may be able to see up there's two types. There's like a black type and there is a yellow type. So that's been produced by our drills and indeed by pretty much all the machines that are going to be coming up in the series, so do watch out for it. There are ways to get rid of it. I've said before about plants growing. I just wanted to illustrate there's two different types. So you see in here, there's yellow and there's none of this black stuff, even though there was a drill in there. And that's because all the carbon pollution has been cleaned up by growing plants. And I think full-grown trees supposed to maybe absorb it, but the only thing I'm aware that does absorb the black pollution, the carbon pollution, is growing plants. So you'll see down there, I've got some plants growing to provide me with a little bit of food, but also I've got another sort of greenhouse area I'm going to be building up there in the same chunk as our improved blast furnace. And you see right above it, we definitely need to absorb lots of the pollution. Now, pollution has a few effects. One is that it can create polluted earth. The other effects are going to affect you. So if it's in a confined environment, like say if you build into a cave or the side of a mountain or something, so the carbon pollution produces one set of negative effects, the typical kind of negative effects you can get in Minecraft. Anyway, stuff like poisoning and stuff like that is going to be there. The sulfur pollution will produce an entirely different set of effects. They're both negative. There is no positives to pollution whatsoever. However, do be reminded you cannot get rid of the yellow kind early in the game. You're going to need plastics and filters to get to that, and we don't have that yet. So for the meantime, you're just going to want to get rid of the black pollution. Some of the things that can actually help with that, apparently, I've not got to try them yet, but is going to be chimneys. Thanks very much to commenters that said, I think it's the advanced chimney mod. Advanced chimneys let you basically redirect where you want that pollution to go. So I guess you might try and redirect it into a chamber whereby you have your plants growing. We will probably give that a go, actually. I like the idea of having some sort of closed loop, sort of atmospheric processing thing. It's definitely not a Factorio thing, that kind of thing. It's more of a, what would you call it? More of a Stationeers sort of concept sort of thing. If you haven't played Stationeers, I've got some content like that on the channel. Regardless, we're going to have to get rid of that pollution. Right now, it's quite far above us, so not really a big issue for me yet, but it will probably become that in the future. One other thing to note is that if you build a coal coke production, i.e. the coke oven, that apparently produces pollution constantly even when it's not running. So do just break one corner of it or something if you have the coke oven running. Anyway, I'm off to go and head out once it comes light again. I'm going to head out over to our diamond chunk and get our diamonds in, and then we can be able to go and produce, I think it's a carpenter or something like that we needed diamonds for. Anyway, off to get diamonds. Ah yes, it was the quartz grindstone I actually needed a couple of diamonds for, so I've got that diamond mine set up. So far it's produced 5 diamonds of these 8. The other 3 I got through just loot bags and stuff like that, so we can take a couple of those, and we can also take a couple of hardened stone. I think probably everything else is in there by now, so grindstone, yes, let's get that going. So just needs an iron gear and bits and pieces. Do I have any iron gears in there? I've got one here, so let's put that in there. Put this in. Did I not pick up hardened stone? I thought I did. There we go. And the diamonds. Quartz grindstone. Also, that is from Applied Logistics. There is a lever of some kind. I can never remember what it's actually called. Applied. Whoops. Applied. There it is. Wooden crank. Yes. That's the right word. A wooden crank. It's probably just going to be sticks, though. So let's just put some sticks in there. And yeah, there it is, just wooden sticks. And so if you want to know where the diamond thing is, it's right over there as far as my particular world is concerned. You can obviously follow along and play along if you like. It's to the northeast of where I spawn. I did put a bed in, by the way. It doesn't let you sleep through the night. I was kind of hoping just to skip all the darkness, but no, you can set your spawn point. That's about it. Anyway, quartz grindstone, typical early game access to anything pretty much ground up into dusts, and there we go. So if we just grab, for instance, a couple of copper, okay, and let's just put them in, and you can then just hold down your right click, and it will go into the middle, and then it'll transfer across and be basically copper dust or a ground up copper. I'm also going to need tin Now, I may not have tin, but I do certainly have chunks where I've got tin ore appearing. So it's not going to be too much of a problem if I don't have it, and I don't. Unless I got some just appearing from loot bags, which I've not. So I do need a tin mine as well, but that's again no problem. Just put up another burning mining drill and pollute the air even more. But I'll wait for daytime for that, and because I've already got the platforms out there, it'll be very, very easy and straightforward to get done. The improved blast furnace, by the way, the thing that next to where the coke oven's going to be, that does indeed pollute also when it's not doing anything. So it's fine if you're going to be burning anyway, and you're going to have products being produced anyway, it's fine. But if you ever run out of ingredients, it's still going to keep going. So do just break it a little bit and then put it back together if you do need to stop that from happening, if you're ever going to be out of ingredients for some time. Anyway, the other thing I did in here was put an inserter. It's a bit packed in here. We do need to actually move that into a larger structure. Inserters are relatively straightforward. They, unlike Factorio, they take in well, whatever's produced in here, and you can see, oh, we just did it. It picks it up from one place, puts it into the space opposite. There is no Bob's Mods, Angel Mods, kind of right angle inserters. Unlike Factorio, I was going to say, this doesn't take any power. So it is very straightforward and no need to do any automation. You can just basically pop it down. It basically tries to input towards you. Tries to grab towards you. So if I'm here, I'd want to be like this when I put it down. And then it will, you can use a wrench on it as well to turn it, but you know, if you don't have a wrench yet like me, then you can just do that and then just put an inventory on the other side, or indeed you can put conveyors, I think, and then you can convey stuff out. And that's probably going to be the early game way of getting stuff around, although I would like pipes of some kind. Okay, no pipes. Well, you have fluid pipes from Immersive Engineering. It's not quite what we want. How about conduits? Do we have any conduit options? No. Okay, at least not yet. Ducts. How about ducts? We have no ducts. Okay, this is really going for Factorio only. So yeah, maybe we'll have lots of different types of conveyors, but we'll see if other stuff gets unlocked in the future. And I've got lots of pumpkins, other bits. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. And other stuff as well. I just need my... Yeah, there we go. We'll just put the pumpkin back down. Yeah, put pumpkin back down there. Yes, so lots of food able to come in now. I'm able to get some wheat. Wheat just transfers into bread, which is easy enough to actually sort out your particular dietary requirements. And then over here, when I'm not ruining crops by jumping up and down on it like that, we have hemp. And you can't just right-click hemp, you have to left-click it, and you end up basically having that going, and that's going to get some basically industrial hemp fiber, which we'll reuse for other things. I've just put a pumpkin on my head. Perfectly possible, just not very useful as a helm. Let's get some of this other stuff going, and I need some place to jump to and move this out later. Oh, ruining more crops. Oh dear. Since I've now got the conveyor going, though, I have stacks and well, 2 and a bit stacks of red research for us to spend. So we're pretty much going to spend that on whatever we can that gives us more stuff. So basic electronics. So inserted with circuits, way to sort items. I will just take that. Yep. And that will run a command script. So that unlocks this tree. Logistics, we're going to have more types of belt. So we'll take that one as well. And then we can probably also look in over here. So ore prospecting, that is just red research. That tells us what's in overall chunk using a seismic reader. I thought we already had that. Leave that alone for now. Advanced material processing. By combined power heaters with blast furnace, the smelting speed is increased. Like this is a preheater, but that's green science. It'd be nice if this showed me by color, perhaps. You know, with like a split color or something to tell me what kind of things are required here. For example, oil for plastics is going to need oil refineries, which is going to need blue, red, and green. We can take this to powered drills, so we're definitely going to want that as well. It will take a fair amount of power, though. We don't quite have a large amount of power being produced right now. But yeah, there's lots of other stuff. So I'm going to keep taking stuff until I'm out of red research only, basically, just like you would in any Factorio game. And I'll come back once we find some interesting stuff. So there are some really nice things you can actually get in the research. One of the things I didn't research, but it is in the research tree, is a building gadget. Now, I don't have that research yet, but it seems in the pack, I'm not sure whether you want to do this or not, I'm going to do it because I'm in a void world. This is essential in a normal world, it is not. I have no problem with it. So I have no problem bypassing research in this one particular case. If you just go to some diamonds, like here, press U for uses, you'll see if you go right one or two, there is the building gadget right here. So if you build this in a 3x3, it works perfectly fine. It's only that you can't actually see it over here. If I go to gadget, you'll see it doesn't bring up the copy-paste gadget whatsoever. So yeah, I'm not particularly concerned about that. That's the only thing I'm going to build that's outside of the JEI research. So we'll see as far as that's concerned. However, I do need to actually charge that. So I do want to first just... Can this going to produce what I think it's going to produce? Steel plate. This is where I'm going to be able to get it. Steel plate is going to be basic assembler. Yeah, and it just needs the metal press, which should already be in there. It is good. So I'm just going to dump in 4 steel ingots. And then over there, we're going to need... Because this is not just for my building gadget, by the way. It's also for these things. The advanced ore scanner. It uses up, I think it's 100 or 200 RF every time. And you're going to be scanning quite a lot of chunks, so you need to be able to recharge that thing. That said, it's not going to be too much trouble with some steel plate. I did take out the bottom layer of extra reinforced blast bricks, so they are 3x3x3, not 4x3x3, which means I could afford, with a little bit of extra stuff, to build a second one, and that second one is currently doing steel, but right now we're going to be able to just replace the sort of output boxes. We're going to be going on to conveyors, and they're going to be bringing the materials towards us, and we're also going to be able to bring the materials from the other places around all over the place to bring iron ore to us now. Oh, well, the various ores to us. Now, in the pack, oh, and one thing I forgot to say, you can just break the top of industrial hemp. You don't have to break the whole thing to get the goods that you want. Okay, so what was I going to say? Yes. We want probably some kind of mass storage system. And there's a few in the pack, and you get this through research. Over here on the right-hand side, excuse me, there's dogs in the background. Let me just stop for a second. Sorry about that if you heard it. The dogs are saying, I'm a dog, I'm a dog, I'm a dog. Yeah, it's in the background. Logistical storage, yes. So there are bins. Okay, so basic bin, an advanced bin. The basic bin's are going to be pretty terrible. It's only got 1 stack, although there may be some limited uses for it. But the advanced bin is the main one that stores 2,048 items. That's like 32 stacks or so, I think. So that should be more than good enough. But below that, if you want to go into multi-block storage, there are silos, which stores apparently a massive amount of resources. Shipping container lets you easily integrate into automation, but it's more expensive. And then you can have a set of shelves that holds the chests. Holds chests that can provide a nice central storage area, and that is the shelving unit from Magneticraft. Haven't really used any of... I think I've used shipping containers once, so it's been quite a while, so I think we're going to have to explore what each of those are like. But the idea is that we're going to be able to use inserters to pull out of these chests, or directly out of the inventory, if they're fast enough, of the furnaces. They probably will be fast enough, and put them onto a conveyor right in the middle. That's why I've left 3 spaces in between them. And then we can have more furnaces if we want to, but remember, they are extraordinarily polluting. This one's producing steel, this one's producing iron and copper. So we'll probably have dedicated furnaces for each particular metal as time goes on. And you can see I'm expanding the area of growing plants out there, just because and there's a lantern just to keep the water liquid out there, just to hopefully absorb some of this pollution. So from here, then we're going to really need to construct a lot of conveyors to bring in resources from everywhere, all over the place. I don't want to have to keep going out there, apart from initially just refilling the coal ore to fuel the burner mining drills, or more likely we're going to shift across to electric mining drills and just have that served from a central location. But of course, we're going to need power generation to solve that one. But for initially, we can just keep with the coal ones and get on with other things. But we are going to want the conveyors to bring the stuff back towards us, so we don't have to keep walking around all over the place. So I'm going to get started with that. But before I get there, I just want to just say that I have been growing industrial hemp, just so that I can convert it across into the cloth that we need to basically try and build ourselves a little bit of armor. The dragons are pretty terrible. And I would like to not have to deal with them. Thank you very much. So tough fabric it is. Convert that into heavy cloth. And hopefully I have some heavy cloth. Yep. So what about this soldier's armor? I think it said soldier's armor? Yep. So soldier's vest is 5 of them and I have 6. So that's good. And just 3 pieces of iron. I've also got some iron in here probably. Yeah. So we can get the soldier's vest. Yep. Oops. Put the iron in and the cloth. There we go. 1 soldier's vest. And that's durability of 825 and has a whole bunch of toughness values to various different elemental and poison and all kinds of other things. Knockback resistance 20%, so we can just drop that in there. And yeah, we've got our soldier's armor. Okay, so we want to get the pants as well, so that's going to need 4 more cloth. The boots, that's going to be 6 more cloth, and then the helmet, 2 more cloth. So 8, and I've got probably 1 spare. Yeah, it's 1 spare. So I'm going to need 7 more of that, which is going to be quite an amount of hemp, so I'm going to keep on growing it. It's useful for other purposes as well, but the main initial purpose is to get myself a nice, easy suit of armor. I do have the diamonds to be able to do other things, so obviously to be able to make diamond armor if I want to, and temporary, but how many diamonds have we got? With 35. So quite a few of those are available, so yeah, pretty good. Anyway, that's that research done. There's a bunch of research coming up as well. It's going to need a lot of green science, which consumes a whole bunch of resources, which is why you're going to need lots of iron. So in here you can see I've got 36 inserters already. I'm going to need many inserters because basically it's a stack of those and a stack of conveyors to make green science, and it's green science that's going to limit things. So if we have a look in here, automation. Remember when I was trying to make bronze through an alloy kiln? The problem with that is the alloy kiln needs bronze, so it's circular. I tried the blending of copper and tin dusts, basically, with a quartz grindstone. Does not work. Sorry, guys. I wish it did, but it doesn't. So you have to figure another way around. So bronze, we can, I think, make through an electric furnace, more modular machinery, which is kind of cool. These machines are quite good. So 3 copper and 1 tin, or you can use the pulverized version that comes out of the quartz grindstone. And that gets you your bronze. However, the machine controller for this, or rather the constructor for this, you'll see right there it has unfamiliar items. And there's a few different options as far as what you actually do with this. It looks like, yeah, there's 4 tiny item inputs, but in either case there is unfamiliar items. You can just see we can't build them. However, those icons seem to correspond to, if you have a look in processing, advanced material processing over here. That looks like exactly the same icon that was there, and probably other things as well. So you can see in here we need red and green research. Red is no trouble whatsoever. Green is quite expensive, so you're going to need lots of green, and that means lots of conveyors and lots of inserters, both of which are normally pretty fine, but in this case, we're up to 57 inserters. It's just really short of iron. There's 64, so we're just going to need lots of conveyors as well. Do I have conveyors? Conveyor. And there is also dropping conveyors. That's one of the researches that you open. It's like more types of conveyor belts. So I think what we're going to be able to do with that is bring the conveyor over the top of bins, and they should just drop down into the bins. I hope. We'll have to try it. There's vertical conveyor belt as well, though. This is very much not like Factorio that you can go up, but okay, that's fine. It saves you having to build those weird, trying to angle them on, top of blocks that are going up. So as long as we can go up, that's pretty good, actually. It's only an extra 2 iron, so it's well worth doing to bring it up to a higher level and then bring them into our bins. So I'm going to start constructing some advanced bins, just so that I have the various ingots, and then we'll have an experiment to see if I can feed them directly from those furnaces. Okay, here we are by the furnaces. I've got a complete line of conveyors, verticals, and they link together all the way back over to some bins that are above my crafting area. So it should be useful to get us going, and we'll see whether this actually works. If I remember rightly, we need to face this way when we're placing our inserters. So let me just get rid of this box for a second and get my inserters. There they are. Okay, and you're not doing anything. I wonder if I need to put you in a box first and then put you from the box onto the conveyor. Slightly annoying, but less of an issue. Let's just maybe put something there, and let's see if this actually works. I can't go... Yeah, I'm going to have to put another conveyor down. Let's just try this. We have to go that way. And then we can put this sort of this direction. Oh, I need to move this one back, don't I? Yep, that needs to be an output. Okay, and put that down. There we go. Put our box back. Not that it'll need to be too wide now. There we go. And now maybe an inserter. You are not actually doing anything. Try this way. Oh, wow, these conveyors are really strong. Oh, let's try this way. Why aren't you working? Never mind, it was the other way. Put your back to the chest, face outwards, and that will actually work fine. It probably should work fine anyway without the chest, so let's give that a try as well. Let me get rid of it now. So back to the inventory you want it to come from, hopefully. And, well, that's looking like it's working fine. Good. Pulling it out of the conveyor because I'm nearby. So yeah, I'm going to have to make sure I'm not nearby to these things when they're actually running. So that can go away. Okay. And then we can do the same thing on that side. Okay, if I can get close enough to it. Come on. Come on. I'm going to have to jump across. Let's try this again. Wow, these are incredibly strong. Okay, and my axe is nearly dead. Hopefully it'll last long enough for just one or two more. Okay, and back to this. There we go. So that's that done as far as this is concerned right now, and everything should head across to our base, and we can go and see whether this is actually going to work. So I'm just going to spew stuff onto the conveyor. Will you get taken by the conveyor? It looks like you will. Okay, and then we'll just go over here and make sure everything gets dropped into our bins. Hopefully it will. And then we should end up with iron, copper, and potentially steel in our bins, depending on what I've got going in... oh, we've already got some iron coming in. We'll see if that number increases. These are advanced bins, by the way, so they can hold up to 2048 without problems. And I can't really... Oh, wait, there's some coming in. Yep, cool, that all works. I like it a lot. So yes, we're going to be doing exactly the same thing for the various ores. But bear in mind that the conveyor actually takes a huge amount of iron. It's like for each 2 conveyor, it's like 7 iron. So until I get a lot of iron, building conveyors just massively will probably be a bit of a task. So I'm just going to probably just grab a couple of stacks out there, convert across what I can, and have something better later. So we've got 28 and we've got 62, so we should be able to combine both of those and start making some green sites. So we'll unlock some more stuff over here. Doesn't mean me taking out this metal press mold, but other than that, it's straightforward. And hopefully you should start producing. Where's my controller? That's a circuitry. That's a controller. Not enough inventory space for output. That's fine. I've got steel plate there. Yes. Okay, it's 2 steel plate. That means, yeah, I was slightly wrong. I was thinking it was 1 steel plate. Let me just grab those back out again. I'm going to need to put that back in, and then it's going to be half of whatever is here. So I need 4 for the charging station. So I'm just going to make another couple of steel plates, and that should be enough for that. Charging station. Let me just double check the recipe. Let me recharge anything with RF, hopefully. Coils, which are just, yeah, copper and iron. Gold wire. Well, I've already got gold. Or have I? Have I got gold ore? I've got 3 gold. That's not quite the same thing. One of my chunks somewhere has gold ore in it, and I've forgotten which one. So I'm going to have to go hunt for that. So I guess I'm not going to have the charging station until I do, but you can just see it's 4 steel plates and a basic control circuit otherwise, so no big deal there. I don't need to show that on camera, I'm sure. And you can see we've got lots and lots of industrial hemp coming in. We have no problem with food anymore, because we got plenty of wheat, and I've just got it basically being built up in here, but we just convert it directly across into bread. Bread? Yeah, and shift click. Okay, 17 bread, well, 20 bread total now. So, yeah, we're all good as far as food is concerned. My pistol is still doing okay for the, oh, I just love love seeing those come in. I wonder if there's a capacity on the conveyor belts. If anyone knows, is there going to be a different tiers of conveyor that are faster, and more importantly, are there a number of is there a capacity per per block, just like in Factorio? Be interesting to know. Anyway, we need to do the same thing with the ores, but again, that'll be off camera. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, the Glock. This is working perfectly well for the Dragons. There is an AKM I did unlock with Military 1. You can build it if you have a supply of gunpowder. I don't have too much of a supply of that. Most of these things here, they're all just iron and bits and pieces. The assault rifle, it needs steel nugget, which is not too much of a problem for us anymore. But to get the full magazine, you need rifle rounds, which has gunpowder at the center, of course. And of course, we don't necessarily have nitrate dust just yet. And you see there's unfamiliar items. That's clearly sulfur. We don't have any way of converting the sulfur pollution right now back into sulfur. So there may be some other options. You can potentially get some by quartz grindstoning slag. It's only 5% chance though. It's not terribly great. And you can get them out of the high level loot bags, which we don't have access to yet. So yeah, that's going to be a bit limited for the moment. How are we getting pistol rounds then? Is pistol rounds not required? Did it not require the gunpowder when we made it? Yeah, because you can just use charcoal. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So we're stuck with the Glock for the moment. And with a little bit more hemp farming, we now have the soldier's helmet, which pretty much completes our initial armor set. Presumably we're going to get much better. I'm hoping power armor's have imported across from Factorio. And yeah, we have a bit of a better defense against everything that's around. Occasionally I do get a monster spawning in, but it's probably because I've just forgotten one or two spots without hash slabs and stuff like that, so like on top of burner mining drills. So everything's working perfectly well here. I'm not yet going to feed ores straight into these input chests at the top. We could. It's quite easy to. However, the stuff that I don't need just yet comes out of these things, unless you've got an actual node which gives you just one thing, like iron, which you could feed into its own smelter directly. We're going to get some lead as well. I don't really have a way of splitting and sorting, I don't think yet. But we're going to presumably need to get to that pretty soon. It's just going to need more research, more than anything. So yeah, plenty of iron into both of these. And we can see I've also got some silver queued up here, and copper is going in as well. But any iron that goes over there, we're already up to 500, and remember that those bins can only hold up to 2,000. So silos, shipping containers, and shelving units may well be the order of the day. But we'll see about those soon. You can see exactly how many materials I've got. Only very little steel, just because I only make it whenever I need it. You can just basically divide this by 100, and that's how many steel you can... sorry, by 5, that's how many steel you can make. So I can make 100 steel if I wanted to. It is very useful for the next tier of stuff, but we're not quite there yet. However, all of the iron is going to be pretty much converted across with the copper into green science, which is popping out here quite nicely. So I'm going to build up some green science and some red science, and we'll see where we get to next episode. If you've seen anything you want to correct in this episode, do let me know in the comments down below. But otherwise, if you're not a subscriber already, you're more than welcome to click on the like button if you particularly like the episode, and you can click on the bell if you're a subscriber to just get notifications when more episodes become available. We're probably going to... compressed storage. What do you need? Oh, I need advanced electronics 2 and carbon fibers. Yes. What I would kind of like as well is this advanced hoppers, but that needs logistics too, and we need 100 of each here. So what I'm probably going to do next episode, and to give you a bit of a preview, probably going to move this laboratory outside along with its machine controller, and then we may well build a second laboratory, and then one will be doing red, one will be doing green, and then we'll work on feeding stuff into those so that we have, maybe a conveyor coming out with a chest with various science being not necessarily constantly produced just yet, because I'm needing lots of iron and copper for other stuff, but at least I can just trigger it and just walk away and not have to worry about crafting other stuff. That's pretty much all the hemp I need now for at least my armor. However, happens to be quite good that when you break the tops, you get these industrial hemp seeds, and you get quite a few of them over time, and they will convert quite nicely back down into biofuel, which you can convert over into dirt. So yeah, expanding your basically farm growing skills, because that's largely going to be the issue here, and I need more earth to absorb more, at least carbon pollution, And yeah, so that's fine. We'll get to around to it all pretty soon. So hopefully you enjoyed the episode. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.